Good morning, everyone. In the last session, we are trying to discuss about the one of the important example called length method. So length method internally, it is trying to look up the byte array, how many the values we are going to store inside this particular byte array. Based on that, it is trying to return in the particular length value. So if I'm going to print this, if I'm going to print, it is trying to print the 7, and so this is trying to print on the 4, because you can see s1 is the object how we are creating with help of this particular ch is nothing but character array. How many characters we are having? 4. Because of this 4, now we are getting as a 4 here. And second one, here I'm trying to pass as a s3, so this is nothing but s3. Okay, here I'm trying to pass this particular s3. Now you can see a b c d e f g. So how many characters we are having? Around 7 characters. So because of this particular 7 characters internally, now observe, whenever I'm calling st.length, I'm getting an a 7. Finally, I'm printing the same object. So here I'm just calling the length method, and here I'm calling the s3. S3 is the reference variable of this particular string. S3 is a reference variable of this particular string, and now this particular string is created internally, string literal concept here. Now this is with help of new keyword we are creating, and this is we are going to create with help of literal. So we have some differences here. We'll discuss later how this particular difference is going to work. Okay, so this is all about the length method we are having, and string concatenation. So this is very important information we are discussing. String concatenation. How this particular string, it is going to work as a concatenation. Now you can understand here. I'm going to comment on this particular same code here. String age is equals to 9. Okay, again I'm trying to create with help of this particular literal concept. Okay, and string s is equals to, observe carefully, here I'm trying to append 2 strings here. Concatenation is nothing but I'm trying to write 2 strings in a one single statement here. So now you can see he is, okay, he is, this is the one string, and here I'm going to make age. Okay, here I'm trying to append with another string here, and here, so this is the string. So he is something like age I'm trying to append. Whenever I'm trying to append age, what happens internally? What happens internally? What is the age contained right now? Age is a reference variable. Age is the reference variable. So where I define in the line number 59 defining. Now what happening internally? Instead of this particular age, whatever the value it is going to have, the particular value it is going to store here. The particular value it is going to store here. So this is important information we need to understand here. Okay, so this is one of the important information we need to understand. So this is all about the string concatenation. So this is the one string. Okay, this is the another string I'm trying to concatenate, and this is the another string. So totally how many strings we are having? 3 strings we are having. Okay, so this is we need to understand very carefully. So if I'm going to print with the latest s, okay, now what you need to understand here? Now you can see he is 9 years old here. Okay, so this is a way. Now what we are doing is we are trying to add 2 strings in a single statement here. Now if you observe, this is the single statement we are printing. But if you observe carefully, here how many strings we are adding? 2 strings. Totally three the particular strings object we are adding here. First one is this particular section, and the second one is, this is the way of adding the with help of this particular plus. So using this particular plus operator, now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to add the another string here. Okay, so this is the another string we are adding here. This is important. We need to understand how this particular strings are going to appended internally. This section, what we will call here, this is nothing but concatenation. Okay, so this is important information we need to understand string concatenation. Now you can see, so the result, whatever we are expecting is 9 years old. So instead of adding this particular string, now what we can do, we can add another data type also. For example, if I'm going to add this, int age is equals to the same 9 I'm giving, or we can go for the 19s. So now observe carefully what I'm doing here. Here I'm trying to add the same age information here. So now you should observe carefully, int age is equals to 19. Now here, what we need to understand here, I'm trying to append with another data type here. Not only the string, we are trying to append with another data type here. Now you can see he is 19 years old. But how we are getting here? Get in the bin. How we are getting? So here, one string we are defining. With help of this particular plus operator, we are trying to add another string here, and this is the end of the string we are adding. So totally, how many strings we are adding? Three strings we are adding here. Okay, totally we are adding this particular three things here. Okay, so this is the way of adding this one of the important example here. Okay, not only this particular integer, you can add any values like any data type here. For example, so we check with a number related data type here. Now, what I will do, I will check with a boolean, something like the same age I'm going to add, and here I'm going to add false value. Here I'm going to add false value. So if I'm going to print the same example, observe carefully, he is false years old. Okay, instead of this particular 19 or 9, now we come up with a boolean value. So it is trying to print like this. So he is false years old. Okay, this is the way of writing the simple example. This is the way of writing the different data type. Not only this, you can come up with a character, or you can check with a double data type here. For example, if I'm going to add double data type here. Okay, now you can see, so now you can see he is 45.12 years of old. So it's nothing but any number data type, like any data type, we can concatenate with our string here. We can concatenate with our string. This is the important example we are discussing. And getting the point. So now if you see, as we discussed in the previous example, along with this particular println statement, most of the cases we added multiple messages. Like we added plus symbol and we come up with something like a string here. Now we come up with a string here. Now you can add anything. So whenever we are adding like this, so this is also one of the concatenation. Now you can see I'm trying to add testing here. Here I'm trying to add testing here. So if you print this along with the concatenation message, we are going to get here. Now you can see this is something like the S we are printing, and finally the testing is adding. So now using this particular println, again we are trying to add this particular concatenation. So not only this, now what we can do, not only this, now you can see here I'm adding 45. I'm trying to add a plus symbol. So after adding this particular plus symbol, now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to add this particular again concatenation. Now you can see this is another important example we need to understand here. 45 test here. Okay, 45 tests. This is the important example we need to understand. This is the one of the important example we need to understand how this particular example it is going to work. Okay, so for example, if I'm not adding this, so if I'm not adding this, now if you see this println method internally, it will try to treat as if I'm going to call this now where it is moving here. Now you can see it is moving on the index, like it is internally. Compiler now it is treating as a integer value. Compiler now treating as a integer value. So if I'm going to close this after adding this particular string, now if you observe carefully, again I'm trying to call the same println method just for understanding which println method is calling. Now you can see it is calling string method. Now you can see internally it is calling the string. Now what you understand here, whenever we are adding the string related information, any number, like whenever we are adding the concatenation, internally it will call the string method, not the other data type, whatever we used here. Okay. Here, earlier we come up with the 45, so that compiler will call on the integer related method. But now, whenever I'm trying to add this particular test here, now it is calling on the string related method. Because, so entire this information, now it is converted into this string. Entire this information, now it is converted into string here. Getting the point? This is one of the important example we need to understand here. This is one of the important example we need to understand here. Okay. This is all about the string concatenation. Any questions here? So any questions regarding this particular concatenation? Okay. If you don't have anything, now what I will do, so I'm going to use another important here. Now you can see, based on this particular string, you can concate with our object references also. Like whenever we are creating the object information, so those objects also we can concatenate here. So let me provide that simple information. For example, here I'm trying to create one object. Box B is equals to new box. Okay. Box B is equals to new box. Now what you understand here, here I'm trying to create one more string. String S is equals to, here if you observe, this is the string I'm adding here. Box B is equals to, like instead of writing this particular, I'm writing colon, and here I'm trying to add double quotes. So this is we are treating as a string, and here I'm trying to append with a plus, and it's nothing but concatenation. Here I'm going to add a B here. Okay, what is the B? This particular B is now indicating as a, this is the reference variable. Okay, this particular reference variable. Now, string, I'm trying to concatenation with the object reference. This is also applicable. If you are trying to print this SYSO something like S, what happens internally? The message it is going to print like this: box B colon, and here com dot something like package name, com dot package name, something like here. What we need to understand here, we need to understand the at the rate, the information, object information. Okay, so this is basically com dot, and here test. If I'm going to give the package name as a test, and after test here, it is going to come up with a box class at the rate some number 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, why I'm adding this particular number? Because here we are trying to appending this particular reference here. Here we are trying to appending this particular number. Okay, so this is one of the important example we are discussing here. This is one of the important example we are discussing here. So observe carefully what happens internally. Now you can see string S is equals to box B Okay, box B. Here I'm trying to appending with this particular B. B is the reference variable. So this is the way of calling the concatenation here. Okay, this is the way of calling the one of the important example called concatenation. Now we identify these are all the different way of concatenation. Okay, this is like a different way of concatenation here, and finally we are creating one object here. The object reference variable also we are concatenation here. So this is the string we are adding to this particular object references variable. Okay, so this is a way of writing one of the important example here. Okay, so now I will move on to the another important methods here. So I will move on to the another important methods called caret method. So how this particular caret method it is going to work internally. How this particular caret method is going to work internally. Now we need to understand here. So let's write the caret method. Caret method basically it will try to take the parameter. For example, so here only I'm going to write the whatever the string we are printing. After this particular string s dot caret method. Now if you read this caret method internally, it is expecting one int parameter, but the parameter value now you can see index here. Index is expecting. Okay, caret here now you can see index. So index is nothing but what I suggested here. Whatever the string we are going to create here internally, the string internally it is going to create like this. It is going to create like this. Okay, so here we can write H, here we can write E, and here we can write IS, and we can write a space here. So something like 45, 45.12 we can write, and here Y we can write. Same way you can write years old. Okay, internally this particular string converting like this. Getting the point. This is one of the important example we need to understand. Internally, whatever the string we defined here, the particular string is going to convert like this. Okay. So whenever I'm trying to call this particular caret method, now observe carefully. If you provide any index, for example 0 to something like 20, 0 to 20. So whenever we are having 0 to 20, if I want to find out the 19 character or 15 character, now what I will do, directly I will give you the s dot caret method I'm going to call. The caret method is expecting one parameter. The parameter type is int. We can provide as a, okay, we can provide as a this particular int. Finally, what happens internally? So if I'm going to give this particular 15, so what is the character it is reside? The particular character is going to load here. Okay, so let's observe the simple example. Let's observe this particular simple example. Here I'm going to give, first we need to understand here. First I want to understand here. So how we can understand here? S dot length here. S dot length here. If whenever I'm going to give this particular length, what happening internally? Whatever the last character we are going to have, the particular last character will print here. Okay, the last character. Now you can see this println statement I'm commenting, and the last one I'm trying to commenting here. Now you can see whenever I'm trying to run here, so what happening internally? String index out of bound range here. Getting the point. So this is, so we'll discuss in the last example. We are getting an exception. Why we are getting an exception? So I just suggested indexes are going to start with 0. Now the length is going to start with 1. So the range we are having 22. Okay. So range we are having only 22. Now whenever I'm trying to give this as a -1. Okay, whenever I'm trying to give as a -1, now you can see last what is the value we are having? Dot here. Now you can see this is the dot I'm getting. Okay, whatever the dot we are having, I'm trying to get to this particular dot here. Now what you understand here? So if you observe carefully, what you understand internally. So this is the big string array I'm creating. Okay, this is the big string array I'm creating. Now you can add all the characters into this. All the characters into this particular string here. So what is the length we are having right now? 22. Okay, here now you can see H we can add, here we can add E, and we can give the space here, and now you can copy like I, yes, and again you can give the space here. So here you can see 45.12, and here it is going to have a space here. So Y, E, A, R, S. So after this here we can add a space. So O, and this is a L, and this is for D, and this is for dot. Okay, this is the way we need to write the particular string array. Basically, this is a string array. Whatever the string we are having, because this is we are calling on top of this particular S here. S is a object of this particular whole string. Now, how we are doing it? With help of this particular concatenation. With help of this particular concatenation. Whenever we are doing the concatenation, we'll use a plus symbol. Okay, plus symbol is indicating. So this particular string or this particular string, we can add into the one single statement. Basically, these are all the two statements here. Getting the point? These are all the two statements. Now, what I'm doing here, I'm trying to add this particular information into the one string here. I'm trying to add into this particular information into one string. This is one of the important information we need to discuss here. Okay, this is the way of writing the concatenation. Concatenation is nothing but we are trying to add all the statements into one single statement here. Okay, now observe carefully. Whenever I'm trying to add the particular whole string array, finally I'm trying to find out the last character. If I'm going to give something like a 10, the length minus 10, whenever I'm trying to give this length minus 10 here, now what happening internally? I'm getting y. Where we define the y? So this is the y. Okay, so this particular y I'm getting. Now what you understand here, the caret method, how it is working internally, it is trying to load the whatever the number you are going to give. Based on that number, it will try to load up the character which resides inside this particular string here. Now you can see what is the length basically we are having. The length of 22 we are having. Okay, length of 22 we are identified. Now I'm trying to make the minus 10 here. What happens internally? It's going to give us a 12 value. Now, for the caret method, finally, what is expecting here? The caret method internally, it is expecting as a 12 here. We are passing 12. But the 12 value, how we are passing? So this is the way of passing this. I'm calling the length method. Finally, I'm trying to give minus 10. So length basically, we identify just now 22 and I'm making the 10. The result will become 12. So the whole, whatever this particular expression we are writing, the whole expression internally, it is written this particular 12. Okay. So now finally, the caret method, it is going to call with help of this particular 12. So if I'm going to expand this 12 value, if I'm going to write, here I'm trying to put a breakpoint here. Now we'll go for the same string class here. Now again, I'm trying to run this example. I'm trying to run. Now you can see what is the index we are getting? 0. This is the index I'm getting 0. From where we are getting it? This is the different location. This is not calling from our main class. Now I'm trying to click on this. So still it is calling this. Instead of calling directly, we have right. Now you can see. So this is the still URL only it is calling. Let me remove this breakpoint here. So it is calling the different locations here. Now observe carefully. We are trying to call the double value. Okay, so this is the double value. Finally, we are calling this particular string. Now you can see what is the S containing. What is the S containing? This is the S is containing internally. He is 45.12 years old. I tried with this particular data types here. Finally, I am trying to try with this particular double. So string, along with this particular string, we can concatenate with the other data types as well. So right now, what are the other data types we are having? So we tried with the double, we tried with the boolean, we tried with the integer, finally we tried with the string also. So any data type we can accept here to convert the particular value here. Okay, now I'm calling the caret method. So whenever I'm trying to call, I'm trying to put a breakpoint here so that internally it will call this. Observe carefully what is the index value we are passing. What is the index value we are passing here? So 12 value. We are passing 12 value here. Okay. So this is important here. But how we are getting this particular 12 value? So as I explained here, first we are trying to find out the length here. We are finding the length, and the length we identified 22, and we are making minus 10 here. So I'm trying to do the subtraction. Finally, the result we are getting as a 12. The particular 12, it is going to pass to this particular caret method. Okay, this is one of the important example we need to understand. The caret method, the first parameter we are passing as a 12 here. Okay, so now if I go to this, it is calling 12 and is Latin. Basically, so it will try to converting based on this particular format here. The objects are going to convert here. Now you can see it is trying to returning true. So why it is returning this particular true? Here they are trying to check in the strings here. This is already discussed here. The compact string. Earlier in the last example we discussed compact string every time it is returning true because the compact string where they are defining. Now if you go to this, they are defining inside the static block. When this particular static block is going to call at the time of loading this particular string class. At the time of loading this particular string class here. So okay, this is very important example we need to understand. This is very important we need to understand here. Okay, now observe carefully because of this particular string. Okay, we'll go to the same. So and here we are checking the coder. Whenever we are trying to create an object here, we are making the coder. The coder now it is equals to this particular Latin one here. Okay. Now finally, what we need to understand here? Here we need to understand this particular condition is satisfied if condition. Now we are checking this. So string Latin one dot caret. What is the value? What is the value right now we are having? Now if you see whatever the string object we are having, this is the string object here. 0 to 21. Okay. 0 to 21 it is nothing but what we need to understand here. It is the current object what we are discussing here. 22. Okay. Now you can see. So here we are going to find out the space here. So now you can see 32. Here we are getting 32. And here we are having 32. And here we are having 32. So why this particular 32 repeated multiple times? Okay, if you see, so in the second index location we are having 32, and in the fifth index location again we are having 32, and 11 index location again we are having 32, and 17 also. Why these many locations we are getting the particular 32? 32 is a space. Okay, so inside this particular the ASCII value for this particular space we are getting as the number 32. The number 32 and remaining whatever the character we are providing 72. 72 is nothing but H value, capital H, and E. Whatever the small e we provided, that is nothing but 101. Okay, so this is the way the values are converted into this particular byte format. Okay, and who is going to take care of this conversion? This particular Latin related. So this particular Latin or UTF format, we have a two format here. So based on the Latin and UTF, it will try to convert into the all the example like whatever the string into internally byte format. Now you can observe what exactly it is doing this particular caret here. Now you can see if index less than 0, okay, if it is index less than 0 or if the index greater than or equals to this particular value dot length. Now if you see in the just before we identified we got this particular exception here. We got this particular exception. Why we got this particular exception? Because this particular condition is satisfied. Now you can see how we are using the OR condition. The and OR condition we discussed in the earlier example. Okay. So observe carefully. This is important here. This is the way of writing the condition and internally we are writing the exception here. Here we are trying to write this particular exception information. Okay, this is important information we need to understand. So this is the way only we are going to write in the real-time applications here. Okay, so whatever the basic concept we have, we already discussed all the concepts here. Now it's a time to understand how we are implementing the particular string class here. Now I'm passing the byte array value and I'm trying to check this particular index. What is the value we are having? Something like the value dot length we are going to get as a 22, and if you are going to provide the index also 22. If you are going to provide index also 22, we'll get an exception. What is an exception we are getting? A string index out of bound exception. Okay, and now you can see this is nothing but less than 0. So this is the particular less than 0 we are having right now. And finally, what we can do, here I'm trying to converting value. Here I'm to converting into the value. But the value how we are going to get? It is a number. Because here what we are passing? Byte we are passing. Byte we are passing. From byte character, like, byte value, whatever the byte value we are getting, the byte value we are trying to converting into this particular character here. Okay, how we are converting it? This is the way of converting value, the index number I'm passing, and finally it is trying to converting into this. For example, if I'm going to come this particular line number, if I'm calling this, now you can see what is the character I'm getting here, y I'm getting, and what is the index we are having here, what is the index we are having, 12. And now you can see, so this is the value here. So now if you go to this particular 12, if you go to this particular 12, basically what is the value we are having? 89 here. 89 we are having. Okay, so using this particular 89, if you go to this particular the ASCII table information, you will understand the capital Y value. Capital Y value. So now what you understand here, how the caret method is working internally. So first it is checking what is the format we are having. Based on the format they are calling the caret method internally. Okay, internally they're calling this particular caret method. Now you can see UTF. So this is the UTF-16 we are having, and another one is Latin format. Okay, so this is the way of calling the caret method. So any questions here? Anyone having any questions regarding this particular caret? It's a simple one. Just for give the like index number, find out the specific character, how it is working internally. How it is working internally. Okay. So this is one of the important example we need to understand here. Now you can see finally we are returning the particular character called y. The particular character we are trying to return as a y here. Okay, so this is the important information we need to understand the caret method. So now another important information I want to provide, because this is also string, like the string literal concept we are using it. Using this particular string literal concept we are trying to create an object here. And another one, now if you see ABC, ABC, whenever we are providing this particular ABC, so this internally it is going to treat as a string literal concepts only. Now using this directly I am able to call the method without pointing to any string reference variable. Without pointing to any string reference variable, so I am able to call the particular method. So if I'm going to give caret method something like 5, if I'm going to give this particular caret method something like 5, what happens internally? Again we'll get an exception. Again we'll get an exception. What is an exception we are going to get? So whatever the range we are having, something like a string index out of bound exception. So why we are getting this? Why we are getting this particular exception? This is important here. Okay, here what is the size we are having? Size, if you observe carefully, ABC only. So ABC is nothing but 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. So in the 0 location we'll pass A, and in the 1 location and 2 location ABC. But what is the value we are giving? 5 we are giving. Whenever I'm giving the 5, but there is no the 5 value in the particular string array. Getting the point. Internally, it is trying to treat as a string array only. Okay. But what is the index length we are having? 0 to 2. But if you give this particular 5, you should be available two more values, 3, 4, 5. Okay. It should be available like this. But right now, we don't have. Right now, we don't have. Only 0, 1, 2 we are having. So we need to give only within this particular length. Within this particular length, you need to give the index value. Okay, this is important information. Now, if you modify to, if I modify to this particular 2, if I modify to this particular 2, what happens internally? Char ch. Okay, char ch. And finally, if I'm going to print this ch here, if I'm going to print this particular ch here, what is the value I'm getting here? C value I'm getting. Why I'm getting this particular C? Because we are giving within the index range, and 2 is the last index value. The particular, whatever the 2 we are providing, this is the last index value. Because of that, it is trying to print this particular information here. Okay, so this is a way of finding the important information here. Now, any questions here regarding the string literal concept? So without providing the string references here, just we are giving the double quotes and we are providing the any information inside the double quote. I'm able to call the all the method. Not able to, not only this particular caret here. Now if you see abc dot length method, abc dot length method, you can print this inside this particular string here, like inside this particular println method. Now you can print this particular length here. Now you can see. So what is the length we are getting? Okay. So now it is not working this particular length here. So it should be into length here. Let me copy this outside. If I'm going to copy this particular length here, now you can see the length we are getting as a 3. After the length, I'm trying to print this particular ch. The ch we are trying to print as the last index character, something like c. Okay, this is the another important way of calling. Now if you see, this is the section we are discussing with the string literal concept. Using the literal, we are trying to call the all the method. But another important section, what we need to understand here, string s1 is equals to new string. Here I'm trying to pass same abc. Okay, same abc, and this is the another way of calling s1 dot length we can call here. Okay, s1 dot length we can call, and here also you'll get the same length, something like a 3, something like we are getting as a 3. But here we are creating an object here. Here we are creating an object with help of this particular new, and here I'm not creating any object here. So this is very important information we are going to understand here. So this is we need to understand. This is nothing but heap memory. Okay, inside the heap memory, so whatever the object we are going to create with the help of new keyword, whatever the object we are going to create with help of this particular new keyword, we are going to pass into inside this particular heap memory. Okay, so something like whatever we created abc. So the new objects are with help of this particular new keyword, whatever the object we are going to create, the object will reside inside this particular heap memory. Inside the heap memory, we are having one more memory called something like a string pool. Okay, something like string pool. So this particular string pool, what happens internally? It is trying to create an object. So those objects we are going to use for the literal concept here. So something like this. This object, it is going to store inside this particular string pool. And here we are going to store ABC. But sometime, like if you are going to create another object also as a same ABC. For example, here, for example, string S2 is equal to same ABC. If I'm going to create like this, so line number 27 and line number 21. Line number 27 and line number 21 both are having same object here. Now finally what happens internally? Object is same, it is trying to point with another object here, S2, and here we can see something like the CH related object what we are pointing here. Okay, here both objects are pointing internally only one object. It is not going to create another object inside this particular string pool. Okay, this is important. Inside this particular string pool, it is not going to create another object here. But what we need to understand here, what you need to understand. So for example, if you are trying to create another object, if you are trying to create another object, something like same like this. Here I'm trying to pass S3. Okay, here I'm trying to pass S3. But in this case, what happens internally? It is going to create one more object. In the heap memory, one more object is going to create, and this is pointing as a S3. Okay, so and if this is pointing as a S1, okay, and this is pointing as a S3. But if you see, both objects are same. Both the objects are same. But here, inside the heap memory, whenever we are trying to create with a new keyword, every time new object is going to create it. Even though both objects are same, in the heap memory, new objects only it's going to create. But the same concept, it is not applicable inside this particular string pool. Only one object is going to create, and it will try to point it to the how many objects you are going to create with the same object type. Okay, with the same object, how many objects you will create here? It will try to it will try to point to the multiple object, but only one object it will create. Only one object it will try to create here. Okay, so this is the differences between string literal as well as the string heap memory. Okay, any questions here regarding this particular literal and heap memory?
సార్ 11 to 13 ఒకసారి చెప్తారా సార్? ఇది ABCDEFG ఎందుకు యూజ్ చేశారు సార్ స్ట్రింగ్ 3 అనేది S3?
ఓకే, ఇక్కడ అదే డిస్కస్ చేస్తున్నాను కదా. ఇప్పుడు అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే, సో లెట్ మీ క్లోజ్ దిస్. ఇక్కడ ఏం చేశాను, స్ట్రింగ్ S ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్స్ టు, నేను ఇక్కడ కన్కాటినేషన్ చేస్తున్నా. ఇది ఒక స్ట్రింగ్. సో బేసిక్గా స్ట్రింగ్ మనం ఎలా డిఫైన్ చేస్తామంటే ఇలా డబల్ కోట్స్లో డిఫైన్ చేస్తాం. ఇది ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఓకే, ఈ డబల్ కోట్స్లో ఏదైతే మెసేజ్ రాస్తామో ఈ మెసేజ్ మనం స్ట్రింగ్ అని ట్రీట్ చేస్తాము. ఓకే, సో ఇంకోటి ఇక్కడ సింగిల్ కోట్స్లో రాసా, ఇది ఒక క్యారెక్టర్ ఇస్తామనుకో, ఇది క్యారెక్టర్స్ మనం డిస్కస్ చేస్తాం ఇన్ ద ఎర్లియర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. ఓకే, ఇది క్యారెక్టర్, ఇదేమో స్ట్రింగ్. ఫస్ట్ ఇది అర్థం చేసుకోవాలి. ఓకే, నా ఈ రెండు డిఫరెన్స్ ఐడియా వచ్చినాక ఇక నేనేం చేశానంటే ఈ లైన్ నెంబర్ 11లో నేను ఒక ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేసిన. స్ట్రింగ్ S3 ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్స్ టు డబుల్ కోట్స్లో ఒక స్ట్రింగ్ ఇచ్చా. ఓకే, డబుల్ కోట్స్లో స్ట్రింగ్ ఇచ్చా. సో డబుల్ కోట్స్లో స్ట్రింగ్ ఇచ్చి దాన్ని S3కి పాయింట్అవుట్ చేస్తున్నాను. S3 అనేది ఏంది ఇప్పుడు ప్రస్తుతానికి ఒక రెఫరెన్స్ వేరియబుల్. ఓకే, ఈ రెఫరెన్స్ వేరియబుల్ ఎక్కడ పాయింట్ చేస్తుంది? హీప్ మెమరీలో. ఓకే, ఇన్సైడ్ ద హీప్ మెమరీలో అనదర్ ఇంకొక మెమరీ ఉంది, దాన్ని మనం ఇప్పుడే డిస్కస్ చేసాము. ఎస్పీ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ స్ట్రింగ్ పూల్. ఈ స్ట్రింగ్ పూల్లో స్టోర్ అవుతుంది ఆబ్జెక్ట్ వచ్చి ABCDEF. ఓకే, ఈ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఇన్సైడ్ ద హీప్ మెమరీ ఒక స్ట్రింగ్ పూల్ అని ఇంకొక మెమరీ ఉంటుంది. ఆ మెమరీలో ఈ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ స్టోర్ అవుతుంది ABCDEF అనేది. సో ఎప్పుడైతే ఈ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ స్టోర్ అవుతుందో దీన్ని దేంతో పాయింట్అవుట్ చేస్తున్నాము? S3 ఏంటిది ఇప్పుడు? ఇది S3 ఒక రెఫరెన్స్ వేరియబుల్. ఈ రెఫరెన్స్ వేరియబుల్ ఈ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ని యాక్సెస్ చేస్తుంది. ఈ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఎక్కడుంది? ఇన్సైడ్ ద స్ట్రింగ్ పూల్లో ఉంది. స్ట్రింగ్ పూల్ అనే ఒక మెమరీలో ABCD ఉంది. నా ఇప్పుడు నేను ఏం చేస్తున్నా, ఇక్కడ S3 డాట్ లెంత్ అనే మెథడ్ కాల్ చేస్తున్నా. కాల్ చేయడం వల్ల ఈ లెంత్ ప్రింట్ చేస్తుంది. ఎన్ని క్యారెక్టర్స్ ఉన్నాయి? 7 క్యారెక్టర్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఓకే, సో ABCDEFG అనేవి 7 క్యారెక్టర్స్ ఉన్నాయి. సో దాని తర్వాత సెవెన్ క్యారెక్టర్ ప్రింట్ చేశా. అండ్ లైన్ నెంబర్ 13 ఏం ప్రింట్ చేస్తున్నా S3. S3 ఏం చేస్తుంది, S3 అనేది రిఫరెన్స్ వేరియబుల్ ఈ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ని పాయింట్అవుట్ చేస్తుంది కదా. సో ఎప్పుడైతే ఈ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ని పాయింట్అవుట్ చేస్తుందో ఆ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఇక్కడ ప్రింట్ అయిపోతుంది. ఈ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ప్రింట్ అయిపోతుంది. సో అంతే సింపుల్ ఇక్కడ. బట్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేయడమే ఇక్కడ 2 టైప్స్. ఇక్కడ చూస్తే లైన్ నెంబర్ 25లో ఒక వే ఆఫ్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్రియేషన్ చేశాను. ఇక్కడ న్యూ కీవర్డ్తో ఒక ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేశాను. అండ్ ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసేమో లిటరల్ కాన్సెప్ట్ అంటాం, దీన్ని స్ట్రింగ్ లిటరల్ కాన్సెప్ట్ అంటాం. ఓకే, సో యూజింగ్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ స్ట్రింగ్ లిటరల్ కాన్సెప్ట్ వీఆర్ క్రియేటింగ్ అన్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్. ఏవైతే స్ట్రింగ్ లిటరల్ కాన్సెప్ట్తో క్రియేట్ చేస్తామో, అంటే ఇట్లా డబుల్ కోట్స్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తామో ఆ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ అన్ని స్ట్రింగ్ పూల్ మెమరీలో క్రియేట్ అవుతాయి. ఏవైతే మనం ఇట్లా న్యూ కీవర్డ్తో ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తామో ఈ న్యూ కీవర్డ్తో క్రియేట్ చేసిన ఆబ్జెక్ట్లన్నీ హీప్ మెమరీలో క్రియేట్ అవుతాయి, నాట్ ఇన్ ద స్ట్రింగ్ పూల్. ఓకే, ఇదే డిఫరెన్సెస్ హియర్. అండ్ ఈ సెక్షన్ డిఫరెంట్. మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ ఏదైతే మనం డిస్కస్ చేసుకున్నామో ఈ సెక్షన్ డిఫరెంట్. ఈ సెక్షన్ ఏం ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తుందంటే బేసిక్గా ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నాకు ఇక్కడ ఇంటూ వాల్యూ ఉంది, ఇంటూ ఏజ్ సంథింగ్ లైక్ 19 అనే ఒక వాల్యూ ఇచ్చా. ఓకే, ఇంటి ఏజ్ 19 అని ఇచ్చాను. బట్ ఈ ఏజ్ని స్ట్రింగ్తో అపెండ్ చేస్తున్నాను, స్ట్రింగ్తో కలుపుతున్నా నేను ఇక్కడ. ఓకే, ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే 2 డేటా టైప్స్ ఉన్నాయి మనకి, ఒకటి స్ట్రింగ్ ఇంకొకటి ఇంటీజర్. సో ఈ 2 డేటా టైప్ని మనం ఎలా కలుపుతున్నాం అంటే ఈ ప్లస్ ఆపరేటర్ ఇక్కడ. సో ఈ 2 డేటా టైప్ని కలుపుతుంటుంది. ఫస్ట్ ఇక్కడ ఇది ఒక స్ట్రింగ్. ఓకే, ఈజ్ అనేది ఒక స్ట్రింగ్. తర్వాత ఏజ్ అని ఇచ్చాను, ఏజ్ అనేది ఒక వేరియబుల్ నేమ్ కదా, ఏజ్ అనే ఒక వేరియబుల్ నేమ్. ఈ ఏజ్ అనే వేరియబుల్ నేమ్లో ఎంత వాల్యూ ఉంది, ఇక్కడ 99 ఉంది. ఓకే, ఈ 19ని ఇక్కడ కలుపుతున్నాను, ప్లస్ ఇచ్చాను. సో దాని తర్వాత మళ్ళీ ఒక మెసేజ్ రాస్తున్నాను. ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఈ మెసేజ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ లేదనుకోండి, ఇది కూడా క్లోజ్ చేయొచ్చు. ఇప్పుడు ఈ మెసేజ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ లేకపోతే ఈజ్ ప్లస్ ఏజ్. ఓకే, అంటే ఈజ్ 19. బట్ ఇక్కడ నేనేం చేశాను, ఇంకొక మెసేజ్ యాడ్ చేశాను. సో ఏమని, ఇయర్స్ ఓల్డ్ అని. అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, ఇదొక స్ట్రింగ్, ఇదొక ఇంటీజర్ అండ్ ఇదొక స్ట్రింగ్. సో ఇట్లా 2 స్ట్రింగ్స్ ఒక ఇంటీజర్, మూడింటిని ఒకే స్ట్రింగ్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్గా కలిపాను ఇక్కడ. ఓకే, ఈ కలపడాన్ని మనం కన్కాటినేషన్ అంటాం. సో ఇక్కడ చూసుకుంటే దిస్ ఇస్ ద వన్ స్ట్రింగ్ అండ్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఇంటీజర్ అండ్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద అనదర్ స్ట్రింగ్. సో whole object something like this is something like 19 years old. This whole object internally it is going to converting as a string s is equals to this is the whole string. But how we are converting అనేది ఇక్కడ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇక్కడ. సో ఎలా కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తున్నాం అన్నది వన్ ఆఫ్ ద ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇక్కడ. ఓకే, సో ఎలా కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తున్నాము, సో ఇక్కడ ఒక ఆపరేటర్ ఇచ్చాము, ప్లస్ ఆపరేటర్. ఈ ప్లస్ ఆపరేటర్ అనేది బేసిక్గా సో ఏదైతే డిఫరెంట్ డేటా టైప్ వాడుతున్నామో అన్ని డేటా టైప్స్ ఇక్కడ కన్వర్ట్ చేసేస్తుంది, అంతే. ఇంకేమైనా క్వశ్చన్సా? ఓకే, ఈ స్ట్రింగ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ very important example we are discussing. So I'm requesting everyone try to practice very well, so then only you will understand how this particular string is going to work in our Java language here. Okay, and now we identified length method, and finally we identified where is the caret method. So we identify the caret method and we discuss about the literal concept and we discuss about the string object with help of this particular new keyword. Now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to provide the one more method information. So the method, what it will do, get char methods. Okay, get char methods. Basically the get char method, now what it will do, we need to understand very carefully. So here I'm going to have string s1 is equals to, here I'm going to write a b c d e f g. Okay, this is the string literal one object I'm creating, s1 dot get chars method. Now if you see this particular method, this is expecting multiple parameters. So what exactly it will do, we need to understand here. Okay, what exactly the get char method is now it is doing here, we need to understand very carefully. So you can see source begin, src is nothing but source begin, source end, and destination char array, and destination begin. Now what you understand here? So you can see we are having four methods here. So carefully observe. Source begin. From which character? Okay, from which character, or we can call it as the which index onwards we want to begin. We can give the number. If I want to start with a 0, like because all the indexes are going to start with a 0, I given 0. Now what is a end character? So now if I want to give all the characters, if I want to copy, now what we can do? So S1 dot, if I want to copy all the characters, S1 dot we can make as a length method. Length method, what it will do? It will give you the all the character, like all the length of the characters, how many it is trying to store. And if I'm going to give the -1, we can easily understand the last character value. Okay, so it is starting with 0. Now it is ending with the last character. Now here, what is the another one? We need to provide the char array. Why we need to provide this particular char array? So based on this particular value, like based on this particular range, basically this is we can call it as a range. So what is the between value we are trying to copy? We are giving. So you can give any number of values. Okay, based on this in the range, how many characters we are going to have? The character will store into this particular index. Sorry, this particular char array. Okay, based on this particular range, the characters are going to start like store into this particular char array, and the last parameter, like from which index onwards we want to start it. The index number, what is the number we want to start? We can provide. Like if you are interested 0, or if you are interested 1, or if you are interested 10. Get it? From which index number onwards we want to start, we can provide the particular index number. So that is the last here. Now you can see source I am giving as 0. Here we are calling length method. This is nothing but array we are providing. And if I am going to give as 0, now it will copy all the values here. Okay. So this is important example we need to understand regarding this. Now you can see I am going to give the source begin. Source begin I'm going to give as 0, and source end here. Now what I'm trying to give, S1 dot length -1. Length we cannot give because length again value will be different here. So every time length is a one value, it is going to have some bigger value compared to the our indexes. Because of that I'm making -1 here. So -1 will give you the last index here. And destination. What is the destination? Here we need to provide the char array. Okay, here we need to provide the particular char array. Now observe carefully how I'm trying to create this particular char array. So here I'm trying to creating this particular char, and we need to provide the size here. How we can provide the size? S1 dot length here. Okay, based on this particular S1 dot length, I'm trying to providing one character array. Okay, right now we are not initializing any value, so the value will be what happens internally. What are the value we are going to get? Zeros. And here I'm going to give as a destination. I want to give as a 0 because all the destination, most of the cases it will start with a 0 because internally all the indexes are going to start is a 0. Now we understand here. But what is the return type it is trying to providing here? Now, what is this particular return type? Just it is now you can see it is trying to return as a void here. The get char method, it is not going to return anything. But how we can identify whether the characters are stored or not? After this particular operation is completed, now you can print ch. Now you can print this particular ch. Now if you print this particular ch, we'll get the reference variable. Now you can see whatever the ch we are printing here. So now ch is containing how many values? So A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But how we are getting? Because if you see, so before going to print this ch, here I'm going to print here. Before calling the get char method, now you can see empty it is printing. Empty. Why it is printing empty? Because before calling this get char method, we don't have any values inside this particular char here. inside this particular char. This is one of the important example we need to understand here. This is one of the important example we need to understand. So G is missing. Good question. So why this particular G is missing? Okay, to understand this particular G, now what we need? What we need here, we need to move on to this particular get chars here. Now if you observe carefully what they are doing here. So here, if I'm going to print the method, like if I'm going to go put a breakpoint here, we'll try to debug this particular example in the debug mode so that we can easily understand here. Get char method we are not calling it, and let me remove this point also. Oh my god, it is not calling from here. So this method, it is trying to call from the different location. Here I'm going to put a breakpoint. Now observe carefully. Here I'm going to put a breakpoint one more time. So what is the source begin we are providing? 0. Okay, I'm trying to copy from the 0 index. And what is the index we are having? The last one, 2. The last one, why we are getting only 2 here? The source destination we are getting as a 2. So this is, oh sorry, this is wrong we are calling. Okay, so basically this is the different method we are calling. Now let me close this. Now you can see. So inside this we are calling the get chars method. Now internally the get char method is calling here. So what is the source begin? Finally the source begin we are going to get as a 0 and source end here. Now 6 we are getting. Source end we are getting 6. Okay. Now whenever we are getting 6 here, what happening internally? The here only the last character is missing. If we observe carefully, count this. 1, 2, 3, okay, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now what you understand here? The size we are having 7, but because of this particular -1, because of this particular -1, what happens internally? It's move on to the 6 here. It is move on to the this particular 6 here. So because of that, we are getting this particular values here. Now we understand how it is working internally. Okay. So if I'm going to print the same example one more time, now you can see FG also we are getting here. Because earlier we made -1. Because of the -1, one size is decreases. So you can see 0 to 6 only we are copying. Not we are not copying the 0 to 7. 0 to 7 we are not copying here. So this is important here. Okay. But length, how it is working internally? It is working on the 7, and internally all the characters are moving into this particular char. So whatever we are expecting, everything it is printing here. Now is it clear? So because of this 0 to 6 we are missing the G value. Whenever we are making 0 to 7, internally the size will move on to the same 0 to 6 only. Okay, the size is going to move on to this particular 0 to 6. All the characters are going to copy here. So this is the one of the important method. This is also get char method. It is something like a cloning here. Cloning an object based on the specified the range here. Based on the specified range here, now we are going to clone the object here. Okay, because original object is already here, it is available. Line number 31, we are having original object. Okay, whenever we are having the original object, now using this particular get chars here, we can have some advantage information from the between the range, whatever the values I want to copy, we can copy this particular values. For example, I want to start from this 2 and you can end up with a length here. You can end up with this particular length. Now you can see C, D, E, F, G. And here it is method AB. A is starting with 0 index location, B starting with 0. But which index location I given here? 2. Now you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I started with the 2 and it is ended with this particular, ended with this. Now internally it is trying to load this all the characters. Like it's something like here, this particular characters are going to load it. For example, I don't want to load this particular another values here. So I want to load only this D, E, F, G. Now what is another option we can do? So instead of this particular 2, we can make 3. We can make 3. Now whenever I'm trying to make 3, now you can see D, E, F, G. D, E, F, G. This is the specific range here. Okay. So using this particular specific range, now I'm trying to load all the values here. Okay. Specific range, I'm trying to load all the values here. So this is all about the one of the important method what we are having right now, get chars method. And here we are having get bytes method. Get bytes method. If you observe carefully how we can call this particular get bytes method. So now you can see simply I'm trying to call here s1 dot get bytes. Internally, what is doing this particular get bytes here? String coding dot encode. Okay, encode. What is the coder it is calling and value? What is the value right now we are having? It is a byte value because any value we are going to store in the string. Now internally it is converting into the byte. So decoding, encoding, everything it is happening. Okay, decoding and encoding internally everything is happen automatically. We don't want to write explicitly here. But here now you can see we are encoding into this particular string. Okay, now we'll call this particular get bytes method. So whenever I'm trying to call this particular get bytes method, what is the return type it is returning? So it is trying to return the byte array. Okay, it is trying to return a byte array. So once it is returned byte array, now what we can do? If I'm going to print this, if I'm going to print this particular bytes, now you can see the last println statement. What is the value we are getting? It is a array type here. It is not the values here. Okay, it is not the values it is printing. It is type called object type. Now what we can do here, instead of this particular byte array, now I'm going to use a loop here. For each loop I'm using it, and here I'm going to make as a, instead of equal, I'm going to make as a colon. Okay, so and here I'm trying to print one by one. Here I'm going to give space here. For each character, like each value, I'm going to give the space. Now if I'm going to run this example, we'll get the all the values here. So 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103. How I'm getting it? So this is the small ABCD values. Okay, this small ABCD, these are all the ASCII values. Okay, in the table, whatever the table we discussed in the last session, these are all the values are stored here. Okay, this is one of the important example we are discussing. Using this particular string, if I want to convert into the byte, this is the method we can call get bytes method. Internally, it will return the byte array. Now using this particular loop, I'm trying to print all the values one by one. Okay, so any questions so far what we discuss here? Length method, byte method, get char method, caret method. Okay, string new keyword and string literal. These are all the concept we discuss here. Very important concepts here. Okay, these are all the very important concept we discuss here. Any questions? Okay, so if we don't have, we'll try to continue tomorrow. We'll try to compare the remaining methods because inside the string we are having lot of methods. So all the methods we are going to discuss here. So observe carefully. We'll try to continue the same session tomorrow for this particular the remaining method which are available inside this particular string here. Okay, and just wait, Sai. Just I want to give the one link here, and you can access this particular link to provide me the messages here. And so I'm giving this link to Saddam and Sai. Okay, so just access this particular link and message me in the WhatsApp. I don't have a communication with you because if I'm having some power failure or some emergency work, so I could not message you properly. Okay, use this particular link. I given one link here, and directly it is going to connect it to the WhatsApp here. You can message me. Okay, just try now. If you are having any issues, you can let me know. We can wait a couple of minutes.